Next up, taking a peek at the steering wheel as well as the cluster screen inside of the Ioniq 6. First thing I gotta say, the steering wheel inside the vehicle is fantastic. It's also heated, so you can toggle the heated steering wheel on. There's a button down the center stack there. You can push that in order to get to some other options, and you might just be able to see it there. There we go. So the option 4, turning on the heated steering wheel. And it's heated pretty much all the way around. The steering wheel inside of the Ioniq 6 is going to be manual telescoping, so just by your left knee, there's a release there to go in, out, up, and down as necessary. Once you find that perfect position for you, click it in order to lock it back into place. Oh, I gotta say, I love the highlights here. So unique. I'll explain these ones in just a second, but first thing I'm going to point out, stick on the left-hand side. You got the option of jumping between all of your different light modes. So typically I would recommend always being in the auto mode. And the big reason why is because the vehicle is going to turn on your daytime or nighttime running lamps, just depending on how bright it is outside. So your regular headlamps. If you're in the always on mode, it's going to have the lights always on instead, or you could just toggle them off if you wanted to. Auto mode is the way to go for sure. There is one thing about the auto mode though, and that's that you can't permanently lock your high beams out. When you do that, it's going to go into the auto mode. So what that means is that if the vehicle recognizes the high beams are needed, it's going to turn them on automatically. If there's somebody oncoming, it's going to dim them before turning them right back on again. But you could always flash your high beams out that way instead if you wanted to. But if you go into the light always on option, you could push away in order to turn your high beams on automatically, or pull in towards you to turn them off instead. So you've got that available as an option if you wanted to use it. Using the left turn stalk, you've also got the blind spot view monitor. So it utilizes those side-mounted cameras in order to show you what's going on right next to you. Stick on this side is going to be for your wipers. So you've got an option of adjusting out to your different options there. So high, low, or auto mode. And then there's this little switch in the middle there. And that lets you go when you're in the auto mode between how fast or slow are you going for that wiper fluid, or for the wipers, I should say. And then you're going to pull in towards you to get that front windshield wiper fluid going. The shifter down here is kind of neat too. So you've got your drive, neutral, reverse, into park. The vehicle has paddle shifters too. So it's going to be your plus on the left-hand side and your minus on the right-hand side. These are not traditional paddles though. So you can see there, you're dropping between different levels. So level 0, the best way I can explain that, I think internal combustion engine. So you take your foot off the accelerator and the vehicle slows down pretty gradually, versus if you're in level 3 or push again for the I-pedal drive, which is one pedal driving. And that slows you down very rapidly. You take your foot off the accelerator and you slow down really, really quickly. It's almost like you don't really need to use your brake. You should still have your foot hovering over that pedal just in case, but it's not necessary at the same time. So it's pretty cool that you've got that option available. From there, you've got a series of other buttons, including your drive mode. So you can push the button there in order to jump between different available drive modes. But look at this. As you move through the different modes, it also changes up the color on the steering wheel and inside of the cluster. So you want to be in the eco mode, your green, versus normal mode is blue, versus your sport mode is red. And as you adjust through, you can see there it's automatically going to adjust your total miles that you get too, because when you're in the sport mode, or when you're in the eco mode here, you get the max number of kilometers. So your speed, when you speed up, it's going to be very gradual. Versus you're in your sport mode, you put your foot down and you are flying. Amazing. Honestly, what I find is sport mode on regular city streets is the way to go. And then either eco or normal on the highway is amazing because you get really good economy at the same time when you do it that way. You've got a series of different buttons along the outside. So with a phone connected, you can either answer or hang up on a phone call. You've then got the option of adjusting your volume this way. You can push in the middle to mute. You've got a voice command prompt. So you'll be able to do things like change songs, radio stations, navigate using your voice. If you were hooked up over Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you could do a longer press and hold in order to activate either your Google or your Siri Assistant. Then there are two different mode buttons there, or two different custom buttons, I should say. So mode button lets you change between all of your available station or sources, I should say. So AM, FM, Sirius XM, etc. You can set that up through the infotainment system. And then there's the little star icon there, which lets you do a few other things. So you can see there, when I push that button, it gave me the option of adjusting a few things. So there's a button down the center stack that's custom. Then there are two unique steering wheel buttons. So for your steering wheel mode, Do you want to change between all of these different options versus the custom button? What do you want it to do? So you can really kind of customize this and really make it your own if you wanted to. And then you've got this button, and that's to go between all of your different options there. So you can see there for media, we're jumping up and down between presets. If you're on AM, FM, or even Sirius XM, you can do a press and hold in order to seek out instead. So it's not the most intuitive seek. You have to go up and down a few times and kind of take your finger off the trigger fairly quickly if you wanted to jump finely between a station. But honestly, just doing this, tune to 97.7 FM. I mean, that is the way to go instead. So yeah, you could go old school and kind of flip up and down between your different presets if you wanted to, but using your voice is amazing. And then you've got a series of buttons along the outside, along the left. So this one is to toggle on your cruise control. So you can see there, smart cruise conditions are not met because I'm stationary. As you start to drive, you can turn it on, and then you can then go plus in order to set your speed, and then either increase or decrease 1 kilometer or 1 mile per hour at a time. You can push there in order to cancel or resume. You can hit the brake in order to cancel it as well, and then you push up to resume. This is a distance indicator. So how close or far are you away from the vehicle that's in front of you? Actually, I think, yeah, it's not gonna let me do that there. Oh well, but if you want to walk through on how this actually works, you can find an actual walkthrough video of using the adaptive cruise or smart cruise control in person. It's a very straightforward system. One thing to note is that you can't switch out to traditional cruise. So it's essentially either adaptive or bust. But honestly, once you get the hang of the adaptive cruise, it is a really, really useful system at the same time. And then there's also this one, which is a lane centering system or lane follow assist. So it's not fully self-driving because you have to keep your hands on the steering wheel, but with the adaptive cruise control system going, and this one keeps you perfectly balanced in your lane, it is a really, really cool system at the same time. And then you've got this little pages button to jump you between a few different options inside of the cluster. So next up, let's go through a few different options inside of that screen. Starting off, let me talk you through everything. We're ready to drive. You've got your current battery percentage level. Your current battery just displayed slightly differently, which level you're in. So whether that's level 1, 2, 3, or 0, or your iPedal, so you're one pedal driving. What drive mode you're currently in. So you can see there, eco versus sport versus normal mode. Jump between all those options. Outside temperatures there. Your current torque, so as you go to floor it, lets you know what amount of torque that you're currently using. Your current odometer, whether or not the parking brake is turned on, and that's just down by your knee. So left knee there, you can toggle your parking brake on or off. It's useful. And then from there, there's also your current kilometers to empty or miles to empty, your current vehicle speed as you're driving, and then whether you're in drive, neutral, reverse, which is so cool, or back into park. But I love that. So as you go through, you can see in your reverse what's going on all the way around you. So you've got your full sensors set up there. And then even inside of the infotainment system, as you go around, so cool. Shows you what's going on all the way around you. It's really, really neat. And then back to park again. And then you've got a few individual pages. So let's go through the different pages. And all I'm doing is using the little scroll wheel along the side here in order to go between all of the subsettings. So if we go to any of these other options, actually, let's obviously start off at the beginning there. So you can see it says press OK for settings. So you push and hold OK, and that gets you through to a number of different settings inside of the infotainment system. There are two that make sense for us to go through, and that's going to be the head-up display. So inside of the head-up display here, hold on, let me raise you up so you can, there we go. You can see that head-up display there. So you've got your current head-up display, and what do you want to do for it? So you've got the flexibility of either moving it up or down through the infotainment system. You can rotate, you can adjust the brightness, and then what do you want showing up? So there's turn-by-turn directions there. So if you had a map going, that would show up. Driving convenient settings, blind spot safety, so if somebody's entered the blind spot in the vehicle, and then your radio and media information as well. So it's very useful. But let's say if we had, let's go map inside of the screen here and search for an address. And let's just go nice and Canadian of me, Tim Hortons, and select and set. And start. Watch this.
Guidance will start now.
There we go. So it tells us turn-by-turn directions right inside of the head-up display, which is so cool. Easily cancel the route out from there. So I love that you've got the flexibility to see what's going on with the route inside of the cluster screen. And then as we go back through to our different settings there, the other setting that we wanted to look at would be your cluster. So cluster, you can adjust the brightness there if you want to, turn on a blue light filter, but you've got theme selection. So we're currently in sport mode inside of the cluster screen right now. But if you were to jump out into one of the other modes, so let's say if you went into the eco mode versus sport mode versus, it changes it out. But let's say if you love the look of the sport mode, but you love the functionality of the eco mode, you've got the flexibility to adjust it that way, or just link it back out to your cluster instead. Which content do you want showing up there? And then do you want it playing a welcome sound when you go to turn the vehicle on? Pretty neat. But back to the little cluster there. And we've got a few other pages to go through. So as we hit the little pages icon there, that jumps us between this. So you've essentially got your trip counters. So you've got your drive info, and that's from since the vehicle was last turned off and then turned back on again. Since you've recharged the vehicle, what's your current odometer reading? And then your total accumulated info instead. And any of these things you can reset. So once you're on any of the pages, you just push and hold OK in order to reset it instead. So push and hold OK after recharge, and it zeroed it out. So you've got the flexibility to do it. So as I mentioned, drive info is since the vehicle is turned on, after charging, since you've charged up, and then your total accumulated info. So since you've last done a reset there. So think of that one as like your trip 1 counter instead. Hitting the page button, if you've got an active route, it shows you right inside of the screen there as well. And then you've also got your basic info. So you've got tire pressure, which is not going to show until you start driving. And then it's the same thing with this little display. So it's going to show you which wheel is getting which amount of power. If you're locked into rear wheel drive or dynamic, it's going to automatically adjust there as you go, which is pretty neat. So I know that's quite a lot of information, but that's everything that you need to know about the steering wheel as well as the cluster screen inside of the Ioniq 6.